Okay, good evening and welcome to the June 10th, 2026 meeting of the Wilmington School Committee. All members are in attendance with the exception of Dr. Bryson, who is traveling and joining us via Zoom. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. Thank you very much. Moving on to the first item on our agenda, we have announcement and celebration of 2025-2026 school year retirees with Superintendent Dr. Thompson.
Yes, thank you very much. We had a small reception earlier, but I do want to recognize all the 6 people who are retiring this year. Maura Kilbride, Special Education Coordinator, Student Services, Support Services. Patricia Welch, Educational Assistant at the Baltwell. Elizabeth Ahern, Educational Assistant at the Baltwell. Ann DePan Phyllis, 5th grade teacher at the North Intermediate. Roseanne Clark, one-to-one Educational Assistant at the high school. And Judy Nazaro, Education Assistant at the high school. So congratulations to them. You will be missed, and we appreciate your service to the town of Wilmington, the Wilmington Public Schools, and the students of the Wilmington Public Schools.
I would add very quickly, don't quote me on this, quick math, the 6 have about 115 years of service to the district. So I just, thank you. We were fortunate to be able to celebrate with a few of them. A few of them weren't able to join us, but thank you. We want to certainly recognize all 6 and thank them again for their contributions to the district over many, many years. That brings us to our Wilmington Middle School Student Representative Report, the last one, sadly, of the year. This evening we have joining us Ashley Spirito and Mia White. Good evening. Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm Ashley Spirito, an 8th grader at the middle school.
Hi, I'm Mia White, also an 8th grader at the middle school. Although the school year is coming to an end, many exciting things have still been happening at the middle school that we'd like to share with you.
Just yesterday, the 8th graders had their end of the year aloha party. There were about 200 kids who attended, so 75% attendance rate. It was Hawaiian themed, and the students had such a great time. We enjoyed bounce houses, a photo booth, and the middle school field with the DJ. There was food and beverages such as pizza, snow cones, and sodas. This was free to all students and everyone had such a great time.
Today, the entire school participated in field day. The whole school was divided into 2 teams, blue and white. The blue team ended up winning. Congratulations to 6th grade room 247, 7th grade room 301, and 8th grade room 204. There were typical field day activities such as tug-of-war, capture the flag, and kickball. But there were also some fun and unique games like boulder run, spike ball, and bounce back. Throughout the day, the students were provided with a fun sweet treat of ice cream. It was a very hot and fun day, and the students learned valuable lessons like teamwork and collaboration.
Exciting news! The WMS Drama Club has announced their 2026-2027 production, Frozen Junior. The rising 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are thrilled with this choice. What's not to love about this fun-filled, action-packed classic? We will definitely be attending this production.
A couple weeks ago, the students that are a part of Best Buddies participated in the Special Olympics. They had a great time and played games like relay races and ball games. There was something for everyone, no matter your athletic ability. The Special Olympics takes place at the Wilmington High School and is open to all Wilmington residents. This upcoming Wednesday, Best Buddies has their first ever field trip. They were able to pay for this trip to launch for my fundraiser Best Buddies did earlier this year.
The students' beautiful artwork was shown at the art show in the Wilmington Middle School. This took place May 12th and May 13th. The students put in a lot of effort and created some beautiful pieces.
On Tuesday, June 16th, the 8th graders have their annual moving up ceremony. This will take place at the Wilmington Town Common at 6 p.m. All of us 8th graders are so excited and so proud to participate in this.
As 8th graders, we are sad to be leaving the amazing middle school community. We enjoyed our 3 years here and really appreciate all the wonderful teachers and staff. We are prepared and ready for high school. We know that upcoming students will have such a positive experience at the middle school. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate that. Questions, comments from the committee?
Sure.
Wow, you guys are quiet. Go ahead, Mr.
I was
Turner.
going to say, what do you think is the thing you will miss most from the middle school?
I don't know, probably just everyone, because we're all going like our separate ways. Like I know some kids are going private school, some kids are going to the Shawsheen Tech.
Yep.
I'm just gonna miss everyone in Wilmington all being together.
Got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, probably like the same thing.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. Well, like I said, you guys are welcome to stay, but we won't blame you if you decide to go. So thank you very much. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
See you Tuesday.
Yes.
All right, continuing on with some great reports. We have a performing arts update. I see Mr. Ferrara. Ms. Prindeville is unable to join us, on her way.
Yeah, hopefully on her way. Last I heard, she was going to be here. I haven't heard otherwise.
Do you want to wait a little bit then, or do you want to start without her?
We can start with that. We have a good amount of.
Yeah, come on down then.
I brought some help with me.
Fantastic.
Mr. Ferrara and guests.
Yes.
So thank you again for having me. My name is Mr. Ferrara, Performing Arts Liaison. I'm presenting for the elementary music staff today. And then I brought some high schoolers with me to help with the high school update. So starting with the Shawsheen update, which is grades 1 through 3. This year, students at the Shawsheen Elementary School continued to grow musically through engaging classroom music instruction performances and extracurricular opportunities. Mrs. Marion led before-school music clubs for grades 2 and 3 on Friday mornings throughout the year, with participation from over 1/3 of our student population. We practiced skills including xylophone playing, drumming, dancing, and recorder playing. Students have greatly enjoyed these additional opportunities to make music together. Several successful music events took place at Shawsheen Elementary School this year, including Grade 1 music informances in January, Grade 2 folk dancing in March, and Grade 3 interdisciplinary learning showcase in May. In addition, students were given access to, quote, Mrs. Marion's Music Class, new YouTube channel featuring songs, tutorials, activities, and play-along videos to support music learning at home. Thank you for your support of music education in Wilmington, and we hope you enjoyed the summer break. An update from the Woburn Street School. First grade students at Woburn Street continue to build upon the musical skills introduced in kindergarten, including keeping a steady beat, developing their singing voices, and participating in a variety of music and movement activities. In February, families were invited to participate in first grade music class, providing an opportunity to experience the music curriculum firsthand and learn about the skills and concepts that students are developing in their music class. In grade 2, students at the Woburn Street School began to develop their music literacy by learning to read rhythm patterns and sing songs and rounds. Students also participate in a 6-week folk dance unit where they learn dances in the New England contra dance style. At the conclusion of the unit in March, families were invited to attend a music class as well and learn several folk dances from their second graders. And finally, in grade 3, students at the Woburn Street School continue to develop their rhythm reading and part singing skills while also being introduced to reading notes on the musical staff. During the second half of the year, students learn to play on the recorder, applying the growing understanding of music notation and ensemble performance skills. On May 21st, third grade students showcased their learning through the third grade integrated art show, where they shared their learning in all specialist classes with their families and the school community. The next update is the kindergarten and 4th and 5th grade update. This is combined north and west sides of towns. Kindergarten students at Boutwell and Wildwood have worked hard throughout the year, developing foundational music skills through movement, dance, singing, and instrument playing. A major focus has been learning to feel and maintain steady beat, as well as exploring the different ways they can use their voices, with an emphasis on singing voice development. In March, family members were invited to participate in a music class and experience firsthand what they do each day in music. As the year comes to a close, students are currently learning about the instruments of the orchestra through Carnival of the Animals. In 4th grade, students across Wilmington have continued their recorder studies, learning new songs and earning new belts through the recorder karate curriculum. This program helps students build musical literacy, technique, and performance skills. In March, families were also invited to participate in music class and observe student learning. And finally, grade 5, 5th grade students in Wilmington participated in general music once each week and chorus once each week. Students transitioned from recorder instruction in 4th grade to ukulele instruction in 5th grade, expanding their instrumental skills and musical understanding. Chorus students at the North presented their second and final concert on May 29th, while students at the West presented their final chorus concert on June 5th. The next and final update that I will deliver is the elementary band update for Miss O'Callahan. The elementary band program had a fantastic year. While we were able to add an additional concert opportunity so that beginner students were able to perform twice, once in the gym for our band vertical, which is grades 4 through 12, and once on stage for a 4 through 6 band concert. The percussion students were able to begin learning mallet instruments after the donation of 16 brand new bell kits from the band parents organization for them to learn not only rhythmic instruments, but melodic as well. This has allowed for a stronger development of musicality amongst these students. Students this year marched in the Memorial Day Parade, which was the most rain we've seen all year, but they persevered and made it through the entire route. And that is it from me. So I'm going to pass things over to Emily Hall.
Good evening. My name is Emily Hall. I'm a sophomore at Wilmington High School, as well as the co-president of Soundscape, our competitive a cappella group, and a section leader in our string orchestra. Soundscape made the quarterfinals in the ICHSA National A Cappella Championship this year and spent the rest of their time caroling for seniors in the winter and singing at the town's various community events throughout the year. Student singers from the high school also worked with the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the New England Pediatric Care to sing songs from the movie Frozen for one of the hospital's residents' 21st birthdays. Within our Wilmington String Orchestra, we have been busy performing all over the community this year. Some highlights include the WHS Orchestra performing at the Senior Center in December, playing holiday tunes for the community. The Wilmington Middle School Orchestra students performed at the State House in December, playing on the main staircase and meeting Representative Robertson. Each student received a signed citation from the representative and state secretary. Students in grades 5 through 12 performed at the annual Festival of Trees in Wilmington. 8th graders Elvina Hong and Mia Vargas participated in the Northeastern Junior District Festival in March, participating in both the symphony orchestra and the chorus. In March, 10 WHS students presented at the Massachusetts Music Educators All-State Conference along with Mrs. Perkins. We presented our original compositions to other music teachers and shared the work that we do about composition in the Wilmington String Orchestra. 4 WHS students were student musicians in the Shrek Junior Band, the middle school show. In March, the 5th grade advanced students performed for their classmates and teachers in assemblies celebrating Music in Our Schools Month. Over the course of the year, 20 students performed in invitational ensembles at the Groton Hill Music Center and with the Lowell Philharmonic Orchestra. Our spring concerts were a great success. We honored our 5 graduating seniors with a concert dedicated to show tunes and movie musicals. The concert on June 2nd was performed on the town common and featured all of the elementary students. On June 4th, the 6th and 7th grade orchestras performed for their classmates and teachers along with the band and chorus students. And Miss Perkins is currently planning a trip to Italy for performing arts students in grades 9 through 12. It would happen April of 2028 and would be open to current 7th through 10th graders in band, orchestra, chorus, and drama. We plan to tour the Stradivarius Factory, see performances of an opera and instrumental ensemble, and visit the church where Vivaldi played and composed. And that is it for Soundscape and Orchestra.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Liz Kulovich from the band to provide the high school band update.
The high school band has had another successful marching and concert season this year, and we are looking forward to some new and exciting events next year. This year we had 5 evening rehearsals, performed at 5 Friday Night Lights football games, and performed our Through the Decades halftime show with Blinding Lights, Runaway Baby, and Bye Bye Bye. We also participated in 5 different parades, concluding with a very wet Memorial Day, and we recently performed at the opening of the Wilmington's Farmers Market across the street on the town common for the 2nd year in a row as our final marching band performance. The Wildcat Pep Band that was run by me, Olivia Saragosa, and David Dian also performed at many basketball and hockey games this past year and hope to continue and make many more appearances at school sport events next year. This year for concert band, we added an additional performance for all bands, grades 4 through 12. Instead of ending the year with the 4 through 12 vertical concert in May like we normally do, the concert was moved into March, which allowed for an additional 2 concerts in March. One 7th to 12th grade concert and another one for 4th to 6th grade, so until we had 6 different concerts. This past week, we had our band banquet announcing new officers, Director's Assistant Savannah Beatrice, Band President Cooper O'Shea, Junior Drum Major Griffin Kelly, Senior Drum Major Mila Skulovich, as well as many other leadership positions. We have already started to prepare for band camp, and this will be the Wildcat Band's 50th year attending Camp Nokomis, as well as the 75th year of the camp being open. We will continue to prepare for next year's halftime show, the 3 songs being Confidence by Demi Lovato, Give Me Everything Tonight by Pitbull, and Toxic by Britney Spears. And finally, we will also be preparing for our November Disney trip, which everyone is very excited for. We will be traveling to Disney November 7th to 11th to perform in the Epcot Parade, as well as working on a studio recording with the professional Disney musicians in Hollywood studios. We are all excited for all of our upcoming events for next year and are grateful for everyone's support. Thank you.
Good. That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Just a comment. I really, to both, but I guess to you in summary, it's awesome how often our strings and our band get out into the community. Certainly, it's been the Memorial Day parade for a long time, but also going to the senior center and playing, going to the farmers market and playing, those sorts of events I think are fantastic, and I really appreciate the time and effort both for the teachers and the students to do those sorts of activities. I think it really represents this high school really well, the whole music department really well.
No, I completely agree. When reading through Miss Perkins' update, I was very surprised at the number of orchestra students that performed for people completely separate from the high school, or even Wilmington Public Schools. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Thank you. Anybody else? Questions, comments? Mr. Golden.
I have a question about a cappella. What your favorite, what everyone's favorite piece was. So I was a cappella in high school. So what's the favorite song you guys did?
Yeah, so we performed 5 songs this past year within our 10-minute competitive set. I think our favorite one was probably The Greatest by Billie Eilish.
Oh.
We purchased an arrangement from a college group who actually won the collegiate championship this year. Super excited for that. And it was just a really fun build, and we got to feature our amazing soloist, Claire Susie.
Nice. But that was a very elegant way of shouting out someone in that. That was good. Thank you.
Mr. Ragsdale.
I just want to quickly comment that I think that the performing arts opportunities that we have in Wilmington is one of the best things about our district. And it's both broad and deep. That there are opportunities for a wide range of students to get, musical education, the way that we provide in-school lessons, for strings or band instruments starting in 4th grade. That it's, but is what, in addition to that, how far you can go and the opportunities that you have to really, pursue your instrument and push yourself. I was at the Groton Hill music, watching a whole bunch of Wilmington strings players join as guest performers at that beautiful music hall, and those types of opportunities I think are something that really is just a standout part of what we offer in Wilmington.
Thank you.
So thank you for everyone.
Well said.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Miss
certainly.
Preneville is right around the corner.
So, I don't want to make it awkward for you guys and have you sit here and wait for.
If anyone has another question, no.
So we've got some.
So just vamp.
You must be familiar with improv, right? No, I think we can sort of continue through some of the things we need to get through, and when she gets here, we'll just come right back to you guys. So.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no,
it.
absolutely. Thank you, guys. All right, let's at the very least get through the consent agenda. Excuse me. We have, we'll take these all separately. We have approval of minutes, May 27th, 2026. Is there a motion? Mr. Golden, second. Mr. Ragsdale, all those in favor? That is unanimous.
Wow, performing arts.
We have second read of the Wilmington Middle School 2025-2026 handbook and second read of the Wilmington High School 2025-2026 handbook. Is there a motion? Mr. Golden, is there a second? Dr. McCaldy, questions, comments, just to be safe?
M dashes.
Hearing none. All those in favor of approval of the 25-26 handbooks, that is unanimous. Thank you. We have grants 42 through 44, revolving 81, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, local, bear with me, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, 138, 139, 140, 141, and 142. Food service 70 through 74, and FS7, circuit breaker 27, 28, special education 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, and last but not least, payroll 6, 17, 26. Is there a motion? Mr. Golden, second. Mr. Turner, all those in favor? That is unanimous. That is the consent agenda. Thank you very much. Bringing us to the superintendent's report. Miss Prindeville.
I am so sorry.
You don't have to apologize. We are just glad you're here.
Well, so Mike didn't have to present. So sorry. Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Okay, so I have a couple reports. I did make a fancy little slideshow for the theater program, so we can start on that one. Oh, sure, if I even know how to operate it at this point. Button on the right. Can you tell, like, teacher tired brain? Okay. Oh, I did it, okay. All right, so overview of 2025-2026. The Wilmington Public Schools theater program had a very successful year. Cumulatively, we sold roughly under 3,400 tickets amongst 3 productions, 3 performances for each show. Total of students involved in the high school fall play was 30 students ranging from 9th through 12th grade. Total of students involved in the middle school winter musical was 101 students ranging from 6th through 12th grade. And total of students involved in the high school spring musical were 55 students ranging from 7th through 12th grade.
That's amazing.
Oh, wrong one. I'm so close. All right. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the fall play. This report was created by our producer for the play and the co-advisor for the High School Drama Guild. The play took place during October 30th, 31st, and November 1st, which is perfect because it was Frankenstein and kind of added a little bit of the genre of horror, which we hadn't tackled yet in the high school program. We utilized this room right here, and it worked out incredibly well. It gave us a different challenge, one that we never experienced before, and we wanted an intimate setting. And at first, we were thinking about doing the play like on the high school stage, but with the audience being on the high school stage. Ultimately, with different sporting events going on, we thought that this space would be a better performance venue. And we were right. And we were able to sell out 2 out of our 3 shows. And this also was a really great opportunity to have an entirely student-led technical production. So the entire with guidance from the adults, the students really took charge and led all the creative and technical aspects. Next up was our winter musical, Shrek. The report was created by our producer for the middle school. We performed it on January 22nd, 23rd, and 24th at the high school, which is always so generous of the high school to allow the middle school drama club to perform at the high school. And it just works out so much better, so that way we don't have to turn away parents and friends of the community who want to see the show, because the middle school is such a smaller venue. The total number of students involved exceeded that of previous year's show by 7, which love it. And we had dedicated high school students served on the production team to help bridge the gap. That's been our mission the last 4 years. So it was such a great experience. And as some of you know, or some of you might not have known, we tried to do Shrek at the middle school back in March 2020, and unfortunately we were canceled due to COVID, yes. And so to bring this back was really special, and it was also really sweet to see a lot of the high school kids and alumni come to see the show that they weren't able to do themselves. So, and then our final show, I wrote a little bit more. So this is the high school musical. We did Mean Girls high school version. This report was created by our producer. The production featured 11 lead roles and 18 ensemble roles, which also included 8 featured dancers. And the Mean Girls cast was composed entirely of high school students. 5 middle school students were invited to join this production as members of the crew, mainly for training purposes to take on significant crew roles. Unfortunately, we can't hold back the drama kids forever, as much as I've tried, as much as I've tried. but they have to train the next generation. So the high school students said, you know what, these kids are the ones that really did a great job stepping up during Shrek, and we'd love to see them help us out with the high school production. And so not only did the high school kids feel like some sort of sense of ownership over how they've been running their technical program, but the middle school students felt really, really special. And that's always what you want. And so with about 50 high school students in the cast and crew plus the 5 in the middle school, the Lamplighter student involvement now exceeds the number of participants in recent years. So that's been one of our goals, is to increase the enrollment. And we know how difficult it is because of all the great opportunities at the high school to do all sorts of different clubs and sports. But we were really, really excited to have a really solid number of high school kids involved with the production this year. It was really special. And the production team collaborated with the WH principal to implement the changes that made the most sense for our cast and limited audience. Mean Girls is technically set in a high school, but there are some fun situations and language that we needed to kind of go to the table with to try to not only be mindful of staying true to the script, but also being mindful of the community and also of what our high school kids experience every day. And I think we came up with a really, really great combination. And the cast and crew, we really did a very strong job of, theater is all about talking about uncomfortable situations in a different light. And so that's kind of how we addressed, bullying, gossip, things like that. And so, we had really good conversations throughout the rehearsal process, about how, we're doing this on stage. It doesn't mean that we take it off the stage. And because of the open dialogue we've had between the cast crew and the production team, we really think that we did a great job of bringing the show to life, but also to bring light to serious conversations. And something that we were super proud of is it drew the show drew the largest audience of students, more than we have seen over the past several years. And also with the show, Lamplighters held another successful Lamplighter for a day. So for any students in grades 3 through 8, they got a chance to work with the high school kids on a couple of the songs of the show. So huge production team shout out, just a couple pictures. So just wanted to throw out that we wouldn't have this magic if we didn't have a group of dedicated adults, some who are faculty, but some who are community members who just love theater. So I just wanted a huge shout out to Thajas Andrade, who's going to be taking over the high school drama advisor program next year as I'm stepping down. Julie Hall, Thomas Hall, Marina Apostolou, Chris Fry, Alex Sennett, Mary Casiello, Michael Ferrara, Isaac Olson, Becky Wolf, Soren Ostenfeld, Aaron Treitz, and they combined for all 3 shows in various aspects. They were the core of the team. So as well as the 20 active members of the choral and theater support program. So that's the drama update. And then I just have a little middle school one. So thank you for your patience. Again, I apologize for being a little bit late, or more than a little late. Thank you. Again, it's the teacher brain at the end of the year. So it's been a busy year for the chorus music and brand new theater classes at the middle school. So that's what I'm responsible for teaching at. I do have counterparts at the middle school as well, as you heard, Mike Ferrara, Sean LeBrun, and Jen Perkins. The chorus classes, which total 194 students between 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, put on 2 concerts each, one in the winter and one in the spring. The classes learned 9 songs each, so each course learned 9 songs, each song ranging in complexity and various themes. And in the 8th grade chorus, I taught a song that I was able to get some high school help with, to, again, kind of working on bridging that gap. So that was really nice to have that collaboration with them. The sixth grade music classes were split into semester classes and learned topics such as world music. They learned a little bit about theater, including the first semester, they were able to do like a little mini performance of the book The Stinky Cheese Man and other fairly stupid tales. They created the script and the play together. They also learned about composing, and then I know the 7th and 8th grade music classes focused on music technology and composition. The 7th grade theater class learned the basics of theater, including light, sound, set, costume, prop, and makeup design for a play or a musical they were interested producing on Broadway. I called it like the greatest show, and they had to convince me that they were ready to put the show on Broadway. So it worked out pretty well. I'm still it's a brand new class that I'm teaching from the ground up, so I'm still finding out the tweaks and how long things will need to take, but it worked out really well. 8th grade theater classes, they learned about how to put on a play and were assigned various roles either on or off stage. The fall semester classes put on 2 versions of A Christmas Carol. Depending on how many kids were interested in performing on stage, I had to find 2 different adaptations, one with a smaller cast and one with a bigger cast. So 2 6th grade wings, I think it was Challenger and Discovery, saw the bigger cast one, and then the Explorer hallway saw the one with the smaller cast. All the same message, all the same amount of time, but just 2, different versions. And then the spring semester, they got to perform for the West and the North. So we invited the West 5th grade and the North 5th grade to come and watch the plays, which was really special, especially for the 8th graders who got to see some of their 5th grade teachers again. And some got to even perform for their younger siblings who go to those schools. So the spring semester morning class put on a play for the 5th grade West Intermediate School, and the spring semester afternoon class put on a play for the 5th grade North Intermediate School. So yeah, it was a busy year. Any questions or comments, concerns?
Questions, comments, or concerns? Mr. Exton.
What is there to look forward to in the next year?
Great question. So, all right, so next year, I know that the High School Drama Guild will be putting on a Shakespeare play, which hasn't been tackled here in I want to say maybe 10, 12 years. So that'll be really exciting. They're going to do that for the fall. The middle school is putting on Frozen Junior, which the kids are so excited by, and the current 8th graders are really upset with me. And I said, I'm very sorry. And then the high school, for their spring musical, will be doing You're in Town. I know next year for me, at least for the theater, I know for the theater classes for the 8th grade, I'm going to be putting on a play to go along with the 7th grade ELA curriculum. So so one of those 8th grade classes will be able to do that, and then the other class will put on A Christmas Carol for the 6th grade. So that's all that's ruminating in my brain currently.
All right. Mr. Golden.
Thank you. I continue to be jealous of all the great shows they get to be in. I was in a couple shows in high school, and I'm always like, oh man, I wish I was in Town.
What did you do in high school?
Sports. That wasn't abundantly clear.
I thought you were a soccer player. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Don't have the stamina in any way, shape, or form. How did this room work out for Frankenstein? Is it usable for future shows?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it worked out really, really well. I think we really couldn't think of anything. I mean, there's honestly hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of state-of-the-art equipment that has not been touched. And so it was we were it was just gearing up and warming it up again, and it worked out really, really well. And again, for a production as small as Frankenstein, for that intimacy that we were looking for, it worked out incredibly well. And it gave us something, it gave us a new challenge, something that, is this room's never been used for a performance like it. So now that we know it's possible, this and maybe other groups down the line could potentially use it.
Great.
Just to follow up on
Yeah,
that,
please.
thank you. It makes me think, though, that we're not in here anymore. It's actually a material concern is, I wonder if these are going to be kept warm or used frequently enough that we know that they're working if we're not
Yeah.
having these meetings. I mean, is that, am I half
will be
joking?
okay.
Like,
That
I hope
may
we
be.
are just keeping a close eye on.
Yeah, I mean, again, like these lights have not been touched since the building was created. So they work.
Right.
So that was the first battle.
For sure.
So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Just had to burn the dust off.
Yeah, we did have to do a little bit of that.
It's Turner.
So first of all, thank you very much for all of it. I do have a couple comments and then a couple questions. Part of the LGIR, using it, I mean, the building's been open 10 years. Getting to use it, I think, was fantastic. Part of what's cool about a space like this is you did the stage up on this side. You could just as easily have done it over there or in that corner, or there's so many options with the black box that it just really does open the door. And once you've done it once, you helped show the administration it was possible. And so I think it's a great first step, and I look forward to seeing what else we can try in this space and in different forms and different venues. I do, one of my favorite things about this and the robotics club and some of our other clubs is the high school to middle school interaction piece. I know it's been invaluable for the high schoolers for leadership experience. I know one that did that and now is going to work at a summer camp this summer with young kids again. So it can be a great learning experience for that. With Lamplighter for a day in the spring, how many students did you have from 3 through 8? About?
Around, I want to say we had like 30 sign up. Yeah.
And then you're running the summer camp again this year as well?
Yes, I am running the summer camp, and we are doing Annie Junior, and we have an enrollment of 47 students involved, which is a 12 student increase. And that was because I wanted to involve as many high school kids as I could, as well as adult production team. Because it's a more intense version of what we do during the school year, because instead of 3 months, we have 3 weeks to do the same type of show. So.
And for those who didn't see, it was Seussical Junior last year. It was fantastic. Do you have a date for Annie Junior?
I do. It's July 10th and 11th. July 10th at 6 and July 11th at 1.
And then the one other thing I'd like to comment on is that one of the things I really, really appreciate about the performing arts group at Wilmington High School is being on stage is opening yourself up to a lot of criticism and a lot of vulnerability. And it's been really clear that the production team and the adults in the room make it a safe space for the kids. And that is so important, and it's so fantastic. And I've seen so many kids come through it, and you can watch them over the years growing. And being able to come, we had one of the students here just earlier coming up and doing an amazing job as a public speaker, which comes from that sort of experience of being up on a stage. And so the theater is such a powerful tool for any career, any part of your life going forward, being comfortable and being in a space where you're a little bit more vulnerable than everyone else in the room. And so I really appreciate what the adults are doing for the children in these programs. So thank you.
Thank you. I speak for them, and they'd probably say thank you very much as well. It's been wonderful to have the same core group of people the last 4 years, and even though I'm stepping down from the high school, I'm still I'm not leaving Wilmington. I'm still around if somebody if they need somebody to come watch a rehearsal or something. But it's it's such a testament that I was talking about it actually with Tom and Julie Hall, who are on the production team, and that they're showing the kids that you don't necessarily have to do theater in college. You don't have to that doesn't just necessarily have to be a career. You can do other things. They're in the engineering field, and then afterwards they get to do the theater stuff. And so that's shown a lot of our kids that I don't just have to if you want to do theater choose it. I fully support it, but if they have other interests too, they don't have to feel pigeonholed. So that's also one thing that I really appreciate about our team, is that we come from such different backgrounds, but we all still come together for the same purpose, is that we love theater and that we want our kids in Wilmington to have the best experience they can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Drago.
Okay. I just want to comment briefly on each of the shows. Frankenstein was fantastic. And I mean, it had original student composed music, lighting, and makeup and costuming that was in black and white. Like the difference between, you know, being in the audience with that separation from the stage versus surrounding just the intimacy of the performance and being so close to the actors. It was a really special show, and it was such a great decision. I mean, holding it here made it work in a way that it couldn't possibly have worked on the main stage. Shrek was a complete hoot, and many of the seniors this year were people who were set to perform in that show in 2020. So it really was just like a full circle moment that they didn't get to perform it themselves when they were in 8th grade or 7th grade. You know, I guess 7th grade.
6th grade.
That's right, for this year's seniors. So they didn't get to perform it, but they got to work on it and help and be student assistants and student directors and music directors, and just really bring that show to life with other students. And that was a really great full circle moment. Mean Girls was an incredibly ambitious show.
It sure was.
The music is so hard, the singing, the vocal parts, the choreography, and then just the production. The show just doesn't stop. It doesn't have like lights out and then people come out and move the stage. It's just constantly in motion, moving from one scene to the next scene to the next. The entire production is choreographed just to get all the pieces on and off the stage. And so even to just make it work without the whole thing crashing in a catastrophe. Is a feat, and to pull it off as well as it was done.
Thank you. Most
really impressive.
For some context, most musicals have maybe like 15, 20 scenes. This show had over 50. Wow. And we only had 7 weeks to do it. And so huge shout out to Thajas V. Andrade and Tom Hall and our student stage manager, Megan Smith, who we literally spent like 4 rehearsals, like 3 hours each, like so 12 hours essentially, like stopping and starting, making sure we were like the scenes were all in the correct place, making sure that the sets were in the right place, that everybody knew what they were bringing out, what people were bringing off stage, to make it so, a typical show like this is like 2 hours and 15, 20 minutes long, and so that way it wasn't a 3.5 hour production with us just like trotting stuff on. Like it was very like incredibly choreographed. So huge shout out to them and to the other members of the production team to help make that as seamless as possible.
And the new intro theater class at the middle school is great.
Thank you.
If certain people in my household had their way, it would become a core course.
Thank you.
ELA and math, you'd have it every day for both semesters.
Thank you.
That would be just like an equal part of your education. And the bridge to high school, which you mentioned and Mr. Turner mentioned, is also so important, because for these 8th graders to come into this the big high school and to already know people, to just have these connections with other people that they've worked with, to see familiar and friendly faces in the hallways. It just makes such a difference when you're coming into kind of like a new scary experience, a new building, moving on into high school. And so having that connection is just so valuable to their confidence. And just lastly, I want to say thank you for all the work that you've been doing. I mean, honestly, I can't even believe it that you're doing already the middle school productions and everything. Just like, oh sure, I'll just take over the high school productions as well. I mean, it's like just only 2 more shows. I mean, how hard is it to go from 1 show and maybe some scenes at the end to like 3 full shows? And for 4 years, you've been just knocking it out of the park with these just unbelievable productions year after year. And I know you have a great team also working with you. The production team, as you said, is just like you guys are just like working as that itself, I think, is an education to the students of how to work as a team and as leaders. But as you know, step back a little bit from it. I do want to say thank you for just for all the time, countless hours and energy that you've put into this program.
Thank you. It's been a real thrill, and I loved doing it. I think that it's been really, really rewarding, and now I can't wait to see. I hope I helped reinvigorate Lamplighters after the after COVID. So I hope that they can take the momentum. You know, I helped with everybody else to build and continue on that trajectory. So thank you. And thank you, school committee, for all your support, because, you know, with the approval of CATS donations and, you know, the shows that we've done, you know, they've all been very ambitious, and you've supported us along the way. So thank you all so much as well.
Lord?
Yeah, well, similarly, I just wanted to say I love hearing about all the incredible things that are happening and that the experiences that our students get to have because of all of it. So just thank you to both of you and all the other teachers that are working on it. It's really fun to hear. I'm on the, you know, my son's only in third, so to hear all this stuff,
Yay.
I'm like, wow,
Great.
so many awesome things.
Yes. Oh,
it's really great.
Tons of things, yeah. And one thing I'll say about the theater classes, what's been really, really so special is that, like, I'll say, like, maybe 90% of the kids are not kids who are in drama. Like, there's, you know, a handful, but really a lot of them are kids who, you know, are, you know, they do other activities, or they've, you know, they wouldn't have been able to do drama because of, you know, other commitments. And the amount of kids I've had were like, oh, actually, it's not that bad. Like, I think that's been like super gratifying. And so I'm like, yeah, do it at the high school. And so I've actually had like a couple kids who have like signed up for the theater courses at the high school to take it. So that's just also been really, really special about doing the theater classes. So like, I definitely thank Mr. Ferrara and Mr. Kyra for agreeing to, you know, take this on, so.
Yeah, and I would just add an important note, you know, as a parent of a child who participates in the drama program, not on stage, you're right, there are plenty of opportunities for folks to get involved, but on a broader level, I think it's a testament to both of you, right? Performing arts in this community as a whole are phenomenal. Everybody is welcome. There's something for everyone. Enrollment and participation we've seen grow over the years. I mean, it really, it's a credit to both of you and your teams, certainly, but for you guys for leading it, it's just, I think Mr. Ragsdale said it, but we can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No pressure for next year.
None at all.
If I could just add one thing at the end. So I had the honor of interviewing three of the folks from for the Spotlight podcast, and hearing the kids talk about how they work together, the things they've grown. And, you know, I always ask, you know, why should someone coming up think about, and they had 1,000 reasons, but you can see this, both marching band, you know, theater, you know, all those things are a different way to be part of a team and to work on your team skills, your presentation skills, you know, instead of, you know, not just on the athletic field, but also on the stage, you know, in the band room and what have you. And those are important skills that our students are going to need when they get into the workforce, and social skills when they go off to the next step beyond high school. So it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yes.
It was a great podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. Closing thoughts?
No, just thank you again. And yeah, thank you. Sorry, teacher brain fried.
Enjoy
thanks
your
for
summer.
Thank you. I definitely will. Except like the day after school starts is when we get right into theater camp. So yeah.
Summer.
Right. Summer. But it's camp.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Have a great night.
Yes, you too. Take care.
Thank you.
Let's continue with the good news. Superintendent's report. Dr. Thompson.
Yes, so we'll start with the good news about the class of 2026. We did officially move them on, graduate them a couple weeks ago. I did have the opportunity to get to know a good number of these kids this year between my student advisory, doing the podcast and stuff. Just an incredible group of kids. Really excited to see them and hear where they're going for their next steps. Couple things, 87% of the graduating class is heading off to college, going to 66 different universities, and I'm not going to read through all of them, but we have everything from Ivy League schools to technical schools and schools all across the country, and talking with a couple of the kids about what they're going to do and where they're going to go. The nice thing is they really have a good idea walking out of Wilmington High School of what their career path is. The other thing is that we have 11 seniors who have committed to participate in college athletics. and you can see those on that graphic that is there as well. And then we have 10 students that have signed on to become future teachers and educators. 3 students are enlisting in the armed forces, and 5 students are going to enter the trade industry. So for all of them, we wish them the best of luck, and we're very proud of them and their accomplishments here. The other thing I want to kind of quickly update the committee on is that we have started, you had a series of questions and things for us to work on. We are in the process of tying all of those up, but a couple of things, we were talking about the data privacy agreement. We did send that to our attorney, Toomey, Hesse, and Lehane. Someone in that office actually works with the Data Privacy Consortium out of the Tech Collaborative. She is the lead attorney for that. She did take a look at that data privacy agreement and said that it fit all of those standards. They did make amendments or suggestions to the contract. We have sent that back to Dorman. Dorman has provided additional information about their financial solvency, and they are willing to talk to a member of the committee if someone would like to reach out and let me know who that would be. And we did hear quickly from DESE that they have not really started working on a policy or procedures, but we're trying to. So there's a few other things we're still working on, but I just wanted to give you an update that my hope is that by the end of next week we would have an official memo and we can get into more detail further on. So that is my report, Mr. Chair.
I will say thank you particularly for this sort of class of 26 roundup, wrap up, whatever you want to call it. I know we've done a similar document the last couple of years, and it's always like I like that it's a nice snapshot of sort of what kids are doing, where they're going, and so I appreciate that. But that said, any questions or comments from the committee on the superintendent's report? Mr. Turner.
One quick one. It's kind of tied into the class of 2026. A couple of us were able to attend the teacher ceremony that was held about a month ago now, and it was a fantastic event. There were 2 things that really stood out. One was just the students and their intention. 4 of them were headed towards high school level. 4 of them were headed towards elementary level. 2 of those kindergarten. 1 student was already clearly identified they're going to be looking to teaching special ed, partly because of their involvement with Best Buddies and with the Special Olympics here. Yep. But the part that was most special about that particular event was each one of them was able to have a teacher that had particularly influenced them come and join them for the event. And it was really, really nice to see those teachers here. It was a really, really good event, and I really appreciate the high school putting that on. And it is always amazing to see the different schools folks are going to. It's a really good list. So
it's great, and I would say I've often had a schedule conflict when they have that, but I appreciate that you were able to attend.
And Dr. Bryson was as well.
Okay.
Yes, there were 2 of us. Yeah, it was good.
Excellent. Anything else? Hearing nothing, thank you, Dr. Thompson. I'm going to move us along to public comment. No public comment submitted in advance of the meeting, but as we always do, we will open the meeting to public comments. Because Angel is the only one in the audience, I will assume you don't have any public comments, Angel. We will close public comment, move us into new business. We are going to take up the curriculum and special education, report at a later date, moving us into first read of policies. I will give the floor to Mr. Ragsdale, and if I'm not mistaken, the first one, JKAA, we're going to table and bring back at the next meeting. The wrong policy was uploaded to the packet. Is that right?
Yes, and to be clear, that through my fault and not through anything that Ms. Contrada did.
Fair.
So I want to be clear on that. And actually, that's also. I realized looking more closely that we also have to pass over policy JCA. That is a policy that Ms. Murray had our Student Support Services Council look at, and he had suggested some changes to it that aren't reflected in the version that's currently in our packets.
Okay.
So that will have to come up. Those are relatively small. We made a few. The assignment of students to schools is basically what side of town you live on, and there's a number of exceptions that might cause students to be assigned not within their geographic area.
Sure.
And so there are a few subtleties in there, and one in particular that council wanted to talk about. So that one is not quite ready yet. JLCD, Administration of Medication to Students. This one, there are actually several different versions in the packet. The one that says clean copy is the one that we're looking to move forward to a second reading. And this is essentially from MASC and aligns with new regulations from the Mass Department of Public Health around the storage of medication. So this was something that pushed through. Recall that some of the policies we work on are things that essentially have to be addressed because of usually regulatory or other legal changes, and then some of them are regular review of school committee policies, aligning them to the model policies of MASC or removing them as needed. So JLCD is one that needed to change because of this new regulation. And so MASC pushed out a new policy to districts to adopt.
Great. Questions on that one? All right, moving on.
So the remaining 5 policies are policies that just came up as part of our regular review, and so that they have, in some cases, mostly minor changes. A few of them are a little bit more substantial. JFABC, which is involving transfer students. This has to do essentially with the right of students who attend charter schools to return to their home districts if they decide to leave the charter school. JFABD involving homeless students is almost not even a policy in that the work around this is almost entirely law-based. So McKinney-Vento and the other MGL essentially determines almost everything that we have to do with as far as homeless students and their education. So that is just, again, aligning to the current MASC model policy, which is, again, almost entirely based on law. It's not a place where districts really have discretion. JFABE, which one is that? JFABE, for military children, that has very minor changes. So that's a very small change. JFABF, involving students in foster care. Again, just aligning that to the MASC model policy, and nothing in particular about Wilmington that needed any individualized changes for that. And then lastly, JFBB, which is the policy on school choice. And this involves some of the mechanisms around school choice about choosing for lotteries, for, if students are oversubscribed. And in particular, the newest change is that there is a new policy that siblings do get preferential admission in school choice admission decisions. So if you already have accepted someone from a family in school choice, and then the family wants to send a sibling wants to send another child to the same district. Now, obviously, we're not participating in school choice, so this is all kind of moot for us. But we still have to have the policy in place because at any point in any year, we of course could choose to participate in school choice and would have to be aligned with the proper laws and regulations. So, if we did in the future choose to participate in school choice, there's now a preference for siblings in order to be admitted. Something, for example, that is not the case in the vocational admission policy, new regulation that came out last year. There is no sibling preference for that, but there is for school choice.
Very good.
And that was our last policy subcommittee meeting of the year. As we, just going back to the first two, especially JKAA at the beginning that we're passing over, we'll bring that back with the proper policy in the packet for the next meeting in 2 weeks. And we'll plan to approve that as well during that meeting rather than doing our traditional first read, second read, because that is something that we have to have in place legally by August. And so since we're not planning to have regular and don't want to have regular school committee meetings over the summer where we're working on this type of policy review, that will be the plan to review and approve at the next June meeting.
To be clear, JKAA, but what about JCA? That one I know we're tabling. We don't have there's some changes that we need to make to that one, but that one doesn't have the same sort of time sensitivity to it.
JCA,
that will just come back.
JCA is something that we're aligning, but is not. We don't need it in place by any particular point, and we're not out of compliance right now with any legal standard.
Very good. Okay, so essentially, I have one question, but does anybody have anything else on the other policies that Mr. Ragsdale highlighted for us? Hearing none. I noticed, and maybe this is something, I haven't been on the policy committee for a while, maybe this is something you do after the first read, but a lot of these at the bottom have an adopted in 2020 or revised in 2019, and we had typically updated those reviewed or revised dates, and I just want to make sure that that's called out and done.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because that should be, there is a tracking spreadsheet that kind of tracks that, but usually in the policy itself, it states when it was last reviewed and adopted.
Yeah, okay, perfect. As long as, I feel better about just calling that out. Okay, so then, in that case, I would look for a motion to table policies JKAA and JCA and approve JLCD through JFBB as listed on the agenda.
We're not doing a second read?
Well, I don't think you mean that we're not approving them.
Move for a second, yeah. I'm sorry, move forward for a second read, yeah.
So moved.
Thank you. Sorry, I had the right idea and I misspoke on it. All right, so that's a motion by Mr. Turner and a second by Mr. Golden. Any further discussion?
Just
Please.
thank you very much to the policy subcommittee. Did an amazing amount of work that's been done this year on policies.
I agree. Okay. All those in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you again. And that will bring us to, talking about subcommittees, our one item of old business, which is subcommittee reorganization. In your packet at the very end is the list of subcommittees and assignments for this current school year, just keeping everybody on the same page. Essentially, if you look at this document, the left-hand side column will stay in place. The right-hand side column can all go away, including the town hall school administration representative and representatives to the teachers, administrative assistants, education assistants, nurses, and cafeteria worker bargaining units, because all of those contracts are current and up to date.
Fantastic.
And so we don't need those for next year. So
Thank you to all who served on those.
what I would like to do is go through these individually, have a, as we've done in the past, we have a brief discussion. If somebody really wants on a subcommittee, speak now. If somebody really wants to beg off a subcommittee, that also is appropriate. But we can go through these one by one, taking it up from the top. Superintendent evaluation. In the past, we have traditionally had the chair maintain a position on that committee, and then two other committee members have served. I spoke to Dr. Bryson. She would like to stay on that subcommittee, so, but she forfeits her opportunity to.
Are we going to just nominate her for all six?
Told her we were going to told her for several things, but, so I would say this, Mr. Ragsdale, certainly interested in your thoughts on your serving on that, but if anybody really wants on, or we can have that conversation.
I'll say that I am willing to stay, but I am also perfectly fine if someone else would like an opportunity to serve in that capacity. I think it makes sense for you and Dr. Bryson to stay in that role.
Sure.
So I would recommend that we keep the two of you on there. But if someone else wants to be in that process and on that committee, I would step aside to allow someone else to come in if they want. But again, willing to serve if no one else is interested in doing that.
It is a not insignificant amount of work in a very short period of time. Generally, the process takes place over just a couple of weeks in the spring, but there's not much in the fall or the winter that takes place. But Ms. Lord.
So I'm happy and content with the subcommittees I'm on. If there were another one that I were to volunteer for, it would be that one, because, as an educator, that's more connected to where I feel strongly about, where I'm happy to leave budget, facilities, policy, and everyone's doing such a great job on that. So I don't feel like I need, but if there was I know Mr. Ragsdale does so much amazing, the policy work is incredible. I'm so glad you're on that. So if that's something that I'd be open to swapping, but I also don't feel like it's, I'm probably similar with you, open to it.
Rocks, papers.
So.
What are we going to rock, paper, scissors for the superintendent evaluation?
That's what I just heard, yes.
Does it make sense to go through them maybe and then kind of decide? Because if, for example, if people want to just swap others, then maybe it does make sense to change, depending on how the numbers work out on the other subcommittees.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. Okay, so then that brings, that's policy and school committee handbook. Currently, Dr. Bryson, Dr. McCaldy, and Mr. Ragsdale. Certainly, if there's somebody that's very interested in joining that subcommittee, I think that might be one where I might suggest that it remain the same, just because they've done some significant work this year. There's some significant work coming up, and I think that continuity might serve us all well. That sounds like,
I'd like to stay on policy.
okay. Seeing all the head nods, I'm going to say we can keep the policy
We'd like you to
subcommittee
stay on
as
policy,
is.
so.
I will also,
Can I make a-
I will also say, just, I know we're going to go through these, but going back to the top, real quick, superintendent evaluation. I got a text from Jen, who is suggesting that Becky take a shot at superintendent evaluation, so.
Okay.
All right, so I will.
I guess you're out, David.
Officially nominated, I feel like.
Oh, I think she wasn't volunteering herself.
Well, I think David's point is a good one, that the chair and the vice chair probably should
Yeah,
remain on that.
agreed.
So. All right, cool. That's going to bring us to budget, facilities, and WEF. But I'm sorry,
I
Stephen,
was
you
just
wanted
going to
say something?
suggest that we create a new status of permanent member and David be nominated as permanent member to the policy subcommittee.
You can never leave school committee.
I think that's fair.
For so long as you serve.
All right,
And one more statement is that I'll say that commitment now to next year actually do something also with the handbook, since it is the policy and handbook committee.
right.
So at the very least, we'll update the basic information in the handbook. If
I like it.
we'll see how much of an otherwise an overhaul we can do.
Works for me. Budget, facilities, and WEF. Currently, Nick, Mike, and Stephen. Nick.
I would like to no longer serve in the subcommittee.
Okay. Stephen, Mike, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, I'm fine to continue serving. I mean, I've been on it for several years, so if somebody else wanted to jump, but
I think we're just going to get a sense of what everybody wants. So Nick wants off.
I'm fine to stay on too.
Okay.
Yeah, like Steven, I've been on it for a few years, but happy to stay on.
All right.
But if there's a groundswell of other people who want to jump off,
Willing to stay, willing to go. I appreciate
I'm not getting that sense from.
I mean, I'm happy to stick around.
I would be willing. Having been kicked off the superintendent evaluation committee, I will need to pick up something else. I would be willing to take that if we need someone to fill Nick's space.
I'm seeing a three-way trade a la the NBA happening in the slow motion here.
Let's just go through
Two
these
subcommittee
real
members
quick.
to be named later.
I suspect there isn't going to be much of a change, nor would I suggest one to the MSBA School Building Committee. Nick, Dave, Stephen, you guys have done a tremendous amount of work. There's a tremendous amount of work that's going to continue, and much like policy, I think the continuity there makes sense. So unless one of the three of you has a real conflict, we'll keep that one as it is. And then that leaves wellness, which includes equity, CPAC, and the sick bank subcommittee and outreach. The only insight I can give you is that Jen is interested, I think, in maybe switching from outreach to wellness to get back to doing some of the equity work that committee had done previously. So, Mr. Golden.
I would like to join the outreach subcommittee if that's possible.
There's an opening just vacated by Dr. Bryson. So there you go, Nick.
Perfect. Swap a room.
Becky, Mike, how do you guys feel about that one?
Yeah. I'm happy to stay on that. I think there was a lot of great work, and Mike's been a terrific leader.
Oh, thanks.
So,
Yeah, I think I'd want to give it at least another year. Just kind of got some momentum behind some things, and then I think Nick will be a great addition
yeah,
to the team.
agreed.
Yeah.
And I'll have you know that Jen just texted me and nominated Nick for outreach. So she must be
Perfect.
like 30 seconds behind us, but
Jen
we're
know.
doing okay.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate the growth opportunity. Nick is very shy, so putting him on outreach, I think, is natural.
I know.
It'll be a really
And
good.
we already have a plan for Nick on outreach.
Oh, no.
All right.
Sorry.
So
How do you feel about being on TV?
You know, I somehow haven't been, which is actually, I've been on local access. Does that count?
It's going to be WCTV.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
All right, so where did we get?
okay, so check my math, but as I have it right now, superintendent evaluation will be Jen, myself, and Becky. Policy remains the same, Jen, Mike, and David. Budget now becomes David, Stephen, and Mike. MSBA stays the same with Nick, David, and Stephen. Wellness, Nick comes off, and
Jen
that is replaced by Jen. So Jen, Becky, and Stephen.
Yep.
And outreach, Jen comes out, and it is now Nick, Becky, and Mike.
Yes.
Becky, you feel like you have a lot there,
Well,
and that's okay
Yeah.
if you're okay with it.
Well, I was just processing because the piece of wellness, you came off wellness. Did you just say that?
Yeah,
I sort of
yes.
missed that piece. I feel like, which is fine. That has not been a huge. I think for me, I'm just thinking about how strongly I feel it'd be on wellness if I were to shift that one. Because I think some of the thing we've talked about is this being a liaison, which I'm interested in. But in terms of actually attending those meetings live, it can be challenging because a lot of them are after school. But I kind of feel it's been not a huge
Not a huge
demand,
lift.
so it's not. Yeah, I think it's fine either way.
Just the way math works out, most of us will be on 3. The chair will be on less, which aligns with the workload of the chair. So
Sure.
You guys let me just have 2 last year,
I think
my
that
first year. So.
we're being nice to the new person.
We try to ease
I will be
folks
getting
in.
done. I'm done.
Okay. I'm concerned at how easy that was.
He's gonna wreck it.
Mr. X.
Just one note that legislative liaison is not reflected here.
We last year.
Did we?
I think we had kind of
We
just
can kind of just.
assigned that as a chair responsibility last year, and I'm happy to continue.
Yeah, that sounds familiar now.
And I think it kind of makes sense that way. So, Dr. McCaldy.
Can I bring up the proposal around liaisons?
As long as we are clear with where we're currently at, which it sounds like we are, then yes, please do.
Okay. So as part of the outreach subcommittee, if you remember the presentation we gave a few months ago, we wanted to have a little bit more connection with some of the groups that kind of support WPS. So one of the ideas was we would have a liaison. So one of us would be the liaison, right, for these groups. So the thought behind these is you would be the primary point of contact of the group for the school, to the school committee. So you would facilitate any requests from their assigned group. And then you would also gain an understanding of the group's efforts and initiatives. You do not need, you can request to attend meetings, but you do not need to attend, and also be cognizant if the group does not want you there. That's fine as well too. But they can and should get some understanding on the group's goals and initiatives so they can best serve the interests of the respective group. So the groups we were thinking of having liaisons to, so we already have a couple right now. So WEF is built in with budget and facilities. I think outreach would be the pause group. And then for wellness, there's the built-in liaison with CPAC, right? Now, so each subcommittee would then decide who that liaison would be from those, right? Where it gets a little bit more complicated, although we may have a volunteer that might want to take up a lot of these, is for the SACs and PACs. And we have a lot of them, right? So the thought was any of us could volunteer, as there are a lot of them, if we feel strongly about these. So, there's high school, middle school, intermediate, and elementary school SACs, then the corresponding PACs. The thought was to maybe, if you want to do the north, you do north and west. If you want to do Woburn Street, you do Woburn Street and Shawsheen, just so there's like one point of contact there. But really just wanted to bring this up for discussion. Don't feel like you have to volunteer. Don't feel like we have to do this idea. But the idea was to discuss it as a group, see how we feel about it, see if there should be any modifications, and then we can wait till the next meeting to decide or anything like that.
Great. Yeah, thank you.
I love this idea.
Excuse me, Mr. Colin.
Thank you. I really like this idea. Living within walking distance of Shawsheen, I've been over there for some of the PAC meetings, just in the spirit of what we're talking about. I guess I'm curious, because I'm like, I'd love to do Shawsheen. It's in walking distance from my house. But does it have to, what is the thinking behind having it paired with Woburn Street, just so you get both sides of town when you're at that level? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of the same grades, right? And then it was also just bandwidth, right? Because if we do every single one, now the challenge is I think some of the packs are combined across some of the schools, so we'll have to work through that, and then that might get scrambled a little bit too.
Yeah, Woburn Street and North are like the north side pack, and then Shawsheen and West are
But
combined.
the Saks,
But I think, but doesn't Boutwell and Wildwood have their own? Or
There's a north side pack. There's a Wildwood pack, and I want to say the Boutwell is its own.
yeah.
Let me double check.
I think you're
And
right.
then
yeah, I think they're saying. I think Boutwell and Wildwood are their own, and then North Side,
Yeah.
Shawsheen West, and then Middle School, High School.
And then the Saks, though, are they structured the same way?
I think every school has to have its own
They have their
school
own.
advisory council.
That's right.
Okay, so then we can kind of work through that a little bit.
Yeah.
then,
So 6 packs and eight sacks.
which is a fair amount.
Yeah, it's 14. That's 2 each.
2 each, essentially.
I'm good at math.
I could see some value in having a school committee person for the Saks kind of handle like the West and the North, but I think understanding like the packs now, that might be too much potentially, so then we have one person per pack maybe. Or someone can do Wildwood and Boutwell combined, right?
I
Becky, and then
Yeah, and so as Mike alluded to, I volunteered or was interested in perhaps being the liaison for the SACs, the school advisory committees or councils.
All of them?
Councils. Well, yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
a lot of them.
So, I mean, so I was part of the Woburn Street SAC this year. If you look at the 6 elementary schools, they generally have shared goals that they're working on. So I do think there's some helpful consistency between it's not 6 separate things. It's, the same things, but doing that. And this would not be an expectation of having to attend everything, because that would be not feasible.
Right.
But this was a little bit of a conversation about liaisons, where it could be attending some of them, but also just like a check-in or a place for the school to have a direct contact with the school committee. So from my mind a little bit, because I'm kind of in this world already, if it's a direct contact with, the principal or whatever, to bring concerns or to have that potentially seems doable. But yeah, is all of them possible? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Stephen.
Yeah. So first of all, I really, really appreciate this idea. It's somewhat in the spirit of the reorganization we did a year and a half ago about the subcommittees. So having connections to the schools in this way, I think it makes fantastic sense. I think it'd be helpful for either the next meeting or perhaps in the summer to just kind of map out exactly how many we have and how many somebody's already volunteering for, so we can know what that is. But I think it's a great idea. And I hope we're able to execute it and to be consistent. It'll be a little bit interesting to try and be consistent so that we don't get really different sorts of experiences for the schools. But I think it's a great idea, so I appreciate you putting it forward.
Thanks. So I can talk to you, Jesse, about if it makes sense for the next meeting potentially. I can draw something
I
up.
think if you think you have time, you guys to put it even just a small sort of sample or proposal or whatever together, then we can certainly put it on the agenda for the next one. I just want to be. I think it's a great idea. I know we've sort of talked about similar things in the past. Mindful of, we are not busy, right?
Yeah.
So putting more on our plates, 8 sacks. Joking aside, though, I think it's great, and I think, giving these groups some access or whatever to the committee and giving us some insight into things that are going on is a great idea. I just don't want to overburden any of us. So if we can find the right balance, absolutely. And I think that's part of what the next part of this conversation will be.
Sure.
So we certainly can talk, but yeah, I think it's great. Mr. Rexdale.
How often do the SACs generally meet? Like how many times
Monthly.
do they meet during the year?
I think about 4 or 5 times a year was about what the meetings were. I'm not sure if that's every
So
consistent, but-
quarterly-ish?
Yeah, like every other month it felt like.
Okay. So 5, give or take, times?
And do we see this as something that, as individual school committee members, we would report out to the committee? Sort of almost as like a subcommittee report at the end of the meeting, if like there's any just updates about groups that you've been assigned to? I'm sort of just trying to sort of figure out, what is this going to be concretely, rather than just a connection, what is the expectation for people in this room.
Yeah, so the idea we talked about in our outreach subcommittee was initially a point of contact, right? To keep it kind of like a light lift. But yeah, you raise a good point, is if we want this to be a little more involved, I think we can talk about that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say that, first of all, with outreach, one of our number one goals was to establish two-way communication. And so I do think this is something for us to discuss further, maybe at our summer meeting, is mapping out what does it look like for something to go from the school through the SAC or whatever to the liaison to the school committee. Like, I think that's definitely something we need to discuss and work out, and similarly a path from community to to an actual meeting, because I think sometimes that's a little unclear also. So I agree that that's something that is we need to discuss and really establish what that would look like.
Yeah. And I think the approach to PACs and SACs is going to need to be different, right? Because, like with a SAC, that you inadvertently probably, but run the risk of sort of like direct contact with principals and cutting out inadvertently the superintendent, right? There's normally a chain of communication there that isn't direct to the school committee. And so while it's not necessarily something we can't or shouldn't do, it's something that we need, in sort of what you're saying, we need to set very clear guidelines and expectations for what we're reporting to them, what they're then sort of saying and reporting back to us, right? So, but I'm sorry, you were going to go.
I was going to go something on that sort of order of magnitude, because if I take those 2 points together, we can't be a path around the normal sorts of process. And the other question I had, and part of where I think rather than next meeting, maybe in the summer, we talked also on the outreach side about different ways we want to connect with the community more broadly. And I'd want to think about that activity as well as the SAC and PAC idea to try and make sure we balance. If we're going to do this on the SAC and PAC, is that in place of some of the other ideas you had on the outreach side, or is it in addition to? And do we want to add some of it this year and add some, do we want to phase it in, or do we want to do all of it at once? Just some more general sort of questions I have.
So the thought was it would be in addition to. It's not a either or. So when we presented this a few months ago, this was one of the things we do in addition to everything else, right? Yeah.
So why don't we do this for next steps? Why don't I can meet either, however it's best for you, either with you or with the outreach subcommittee, and we can sort of talk through some of these things, put together a sort of a template plan for this committee. We can bring it back to the next meeting and then to the summer session if we have to keep going, but at least that way for the next one, we'll have some sort of better thought out kind of game plan. David?
Yeah, and I'd also like us to give some thought about what specific benefits we see from this, and then what additional burdens are potentially being placed on, obviously us, because it's like we have to consider that among other things, but not just us, but the other people that we're potentially liaising with.
Sure.
So, if you're, in the case of like a SAC, then it's like, all right, well, is that, if you just show up at a meeting, that's easy enough, because you can just be sort of part of the meeting and just see what people are talking about, and then, answer any questions people have. You could come back and report what the discussion was about to the school committee. Other than taking the time to attend the meeting, that's one thing. But if it's something like, oh, well, I should connect with the principal and see where things are going, or can I get an update on what you're planning for the next SAC meeting? Now that's additional work that the principal has to do. Yeah. And it could be, even for a PAC, it could also be something about like, if you're connecting to a volunteer who's a parent volunteer, leading the PACs, how many, is there someone new that they need to report to? Because there's sometimes a thin line between having that two-way connection and, I guess I owe you some information about our work because you're the liaison, and that's the whole point of having this connection. So I want to make sure that we are thinking about how do we get the value for this without making more work or minimizing the additional work, like really thinking carefully about that just balance, that cost benefit.
Yeah, I think that's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. Any other thoughts?
Oh, the only thing I wanted to circle, well, did you have something else you want to say on this? Okay, was, because if I were to go back to the subcommittees, I think the question then is whether Nick or I come off the wellness. And I'm open to staying on that, but I do feel like it would be helpful in terms of that final decision, some clarity on what our expectations are for that, because personally I found it
it's been tricky to attend after-school meetings. And so while I can stay on that, I'm not sure if I'm really meeting what the needs are of that subcommittee.
So
Can I
before,
speak?
before
Yes, sir.
I would just say, we can take Nick out of that conversation. He has begged off the wellness committee, and Jen has taken his spot. So as currently comprised, it's you and Jen and Stephen, but you were gonna make a
I was
point,
just going to say that,
go ahead.
so this year we were lighter on the equity meetings as a subcommittee and mostly focused on the wellness because there are some topics that had come through from prior years to wellness that we wanted to make sure we took care of. I would suspect next year that what we would try to do, and this is just the thought at this moment, obviously it would be up to the subcommittee, is have one person attend wellness. And it could vary. That wouldn't be an assignment, but one of us would attend each of those 5 meetings or 4 meetings. And that we would have more regular equity meetings, similar to the one we had a month or so ago, to focus more on those topics. And so I think it'll be the goal is to be a little bit more structured, and not necessarily have more than, at most 1 meeting a month, but probably 1 every other month of the equity subcommittee. So 5 or 6 in the year would be the goal. So we can make a little bit more progress on some of those topics. Like we had the topic on discipline at our last meeting. So that's the thinking around it. And I don't know if that helps, because then the wellness piece might be something you wouldn't necessarily need to do, perhaps even at all.
Okay, right, and those meetings would be scheduled based
Whenever
on
works,
our
yes.
schedules. And do you feel like between you, and I'm speaking for Jen as well, that you could cover the expectations for after-school meetings likely, like if I'm not able to? I just don't want to leave the
Yeah,
hanging by not being able to cover it.
Yes. I think if worse came to worse, well, and I don't mean worse is the right word there, but in terms of scheduling, if I needed to, I could be at all of the wellness ones as long as I plan ahead well enough. I know I missed at least 1 this year, maybe 2. So if I plan better, yes. And then ideally, Dr. Bryson would be able to go to some as well. So I think between the 2 of us, yes, we can.
Okay.
Well, and I would just interject to that point, being only on 1 subcommittee, I can certainly serve as a backup for all of these.
Fantastic.
And fill in as needed. So,
We can volunteer you.
so, and not that it necessarily matters, but just super quick math, which has been my theme of this meeting. Everybody, with the exception of me, is on 3 subcommittees as currently constituted, with the exception of Nick, who is now on 2. No pressure, just saying. Yes.
I was actually going to say, I was coming into this tonight thinking, all right, I'll get maybe outreach, wellness, and stay on school committee, the building committee. So I'm happy to swap with you, Becky, for the wellness subcommittee. But if you want to stick on it, that's fine with me. I mean, too, I know people at home aren't going to complain about me being on just 2 subcommittees.
Yeah, I know, right? So really, I know I feel neutral about being on it. It's more just the scheduling of being able to attend. And I don't know for you, are you more able to attend those
Yeah.
meetings? Okay.
But it's up to you. I work remote, so.
Yeah.
Sounds like you want off and you want him to take your place. I'll
Does
make,
sound
I'll
that-
make, I'll
it
make
is
the,
sounding
I'll
that
make
way,
the
isn't it?
decision for you.
I think I'm-
Okay.
Happy to.
All right, so check me if I'm wrong. Superintendent evaluation is going to be Jesse, Jen, and Becky. Policy is going to be Jen, Mike, and David. Budget is going to be David, Stephen, and Mike. Then we go to MSBA, Nick, David, and Stephen. Wellness is now going to be Jen, Nick, and Stephen, and outreach is going to be Nick, Becky, and Mike. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's right.
Yep.
All right. Those are our 26, 27 subcommittees, and we will have a further conversation about, speaking broadly, liaisons, PACs, SACs, at our next meeting.
Okay.
All right.
And 13 working groups throughout the year.
Getting back to the agenda, that concludes old business and brings us to subcommittee reports. Mr. Turner?
Do you want to share the update from the MSBA regarding the DEP, that piece got closed? There was a
Sure.
I can keep going. You can correct me if I'm wrong here. 'Cause so there were some citizens group raised some concerns about the site, and they raised those concerns to the state. The state did its evaluation, came back and said, no concerns that we see. Please proceed as you're planning. So there was a potential there for some additional work that has not materialized, so the program is continuing as planned for the building committee.
And to be clear for folks who are watching at home and maybe aren't aware, if I recall correctly, it was a concern about arsenic in the
Yes.
ground, and it was found that the arsenic at that site is sort of normal for this area.
The base, within the
Naturally
baseline.
occurring.
Naturally occurring,
Yeah,
right,
within the
not-
baseline of naturally occurring, yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
And will be still remediated under the normal, with bringing in fill as needed and
Not a larger
so forth,
cause for
but
concern.
is not considered any kind of contamination. That it's just a naturally occurring part of the soil in this area of Massachusetts.
And also at the last meeting of that building committee, there was a presentation by the construction firm about their plan for the construction program, which will be starting very soon. I believe on about the 23rd of June.
Yes.
So.
School's out. Fun
Schools are.
starts.
And one of the things that was particularly important for this group is they did meet first with the teachers and staff of the building and talk to them about the program and plan, and there was very good communication two-way between the teachers and staff and the leadership of that building and the construction firm. And the construction firm has also laid out some of the ways that they think they can help with some interesting program ideas for the students as learning experiences with the construction happening right there next door to them for the next couple of years. And the teachers were excited about that part of it as well. So it was a very good presentation, and we're getting very close to breaking ground.
Yeah, and one thing that the Principal Iasconi is really leaning into is not treating this as something that we have to endure for 2 years, that there's a construction project next to our school, but something to lean into, and just like this opens up a lot of really interesting opportunities that we can use as educational experiences for our kids.
Yes.
And just having that entire attitude that we don't just have to buckle down and grit our teeth for 2 years. No, this is going to be a great 2 years. There's going to be all kinds of stuff that we can do, looking at it as an opportunity.
Yes, awesome. Great. Thank you for that. Other subcommittee
I'll
reports.
just add that Principal Iasconi is offering 2 online meetings for parents going through the process on Monday.
Excellent.
So,
Great.
so that,
I'll just say that as someone whose child is attending the North for the next 2 years, it's exciting to hear about that. Like using it as a learning opportunity to see a project go from beginning to end could be a really cool thing for them.
I hope I'm going to make this plug to the folks in this room who are on that committee. I know when they were doing the town hall building, Stephen and I and some other folks who were on the committee got to sign the beam as it went up. I hope they let the kids do something like that. Like that, how cool would that be? They do a topping off ceremony. They do it in every project. That's awesome. Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Anything else? Hearing none. Correspondence.
None this evening.
I will add that I don't have an official correspondence, but I spoke to the town manager at graduation, and he let me know that you'll recall there was some conversation at town meeting around the Roman house and potential moving of the Roman house. 2 RFPs, I think, are either about to go out or have just recently gone out. One would essentially, paraphrasing, be to take the Roman house and remove it. And the other would be what it would sort of cost the town to take the Roman house and relocate it to a parcel of land near Silver Lake that the town owns. And I don't know if they would rehab it or revitalize it or what the plan would be, but essentially the second RFP is to sort of figure out what the sort of all-in cost for a project like that would be. So I will reach out to Mr. Slagle again and get sort of the larger scope, but I wanted to let folks know that is at least progressing. So
Thank you.
With that, buckle up, future school committee dates and other notable items. June 16th, 2026 is going to be the next meeting of the Wilmington School Building Committee at 6:30 p.m. in the large room at Town Hall. Also, teacher appreciation event from 3:30 to 5:30 at Rocco's. And we learned earlier today, the Wilmington Middle School moving up ceremony will be held on the Common.
6 p.m.
6 p.m., thank you. Weather permitting, I imagine. June 19th is Juneteenth. School and offices are closed, followed by that Monday, June 22nd, is a half day, and the finally last day of school for Wilmington Public Schools. June 24th is our next regular committee meeting at 6 p.m. back in our new home in Town Hall. That'll be our last sort of regularly scheduled meeting for the year, though I suspect we will be meeting in the summer. And on June 29th, summer programming begins. What did we miss?
That's it.
All right. Hearing nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Golden, is there a second? Mr. Ragsdale, all those in favor? That is unanimous. Dr. Bryson, if you're still there, safe travels. Thank you for joining us. Everybody have a great night. We will see you next time.